real juicy. Well, we're here. What a beautiful day in the music world.
Beautiful day in the music world.
And today we've got a very special guest.
Yes, we have Kyra Lee Cumming, aka Kyra Sunday, aka what else are we gonna call you?
The mama of the group.
Big Mama, yeah.
The one that looks after us.
Yeah.
Gets us into gigs.
Gets us into gigs. Gives us the intel.
Yeah. Yeah. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
What would you define yourself as? DJ, back of house superstar. Or
Front of
flight.
house superstar.
What would you say? Flight attendant.
Flight attendant.
Yeah.
PA to the stars.
PA to the stars.
Diva.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're allowed to say all of the above.
Yeah. So welcome. We're stoked
Thanks.
to have you.
Stoked to be
We're
here.
in for a good few hours of chatting, I think. So
Hell yeah.
tell us a little bit about yourself outside of what we don't already know. Or what
For the people out
the
there.
people might not already know.
Just a real nice intro to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. Well, look, I'm only 24 years old. I feel like I've conquered a lot, especially in the music industry, compared to what some others have, who have been in the industry longer. And I guess for myself, I work hard. I don't take shit from no one. And I just get it done. And that's just what I'm just
You love it too, don't you?
Yeah, I
You
love it. I'm so career driven that and you boys know, I don't stop. And yeah,
Grinding.
that's it. Always grinding.
Striving for more.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I think you carry yourself with the unbelievable, confidence. Confidence is a word, but also just a great presence.
Yeah.
The confidence to
Yeah.
back the ethic that goes into it. Sort of thing.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's an absolute pleasure, it really is.
Okay. What was your introduction to music?
My introduction to music.
I guess that's a bit of a vague question. As a potential profession. Obviously you studied music at Southern Cross.
Yeah.
And did all those things.
Or even how did you start? Where did you know you wanted to do music?
So growing up, my mum's parents were actually in a little Irish bush band. So I've always kind of had that music kind of resemblance around me. Mum grew up playing piano, my auntie sang. My dad's side, not so much, but dad played piano. And I guess there was always music around me. Mum and dad, they were born in the 80s. So, by the time I was born, I grew up throughout, all of that kind of 90s, early 2000 music as well, with the influence of, my grandparents' music.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. From early as I can remember, I would always be in the house dancing around to music and stuff like that. And yeah, it wasn't until I got into primary school, my cousin was a couple of years older than me, and one Christmas she brought her clarinet along to Christmas. And I was like, I want to try that. And we had band trials coming up to see if you wanted to join band or not. And I was like, I want to play the clarinet.
Woodwind
Yeah.
got you going.
Got me going.
Go to the woodwind section.
So yeah, that's where I started, and then throughout all of school, I was that band kid. I had different friend groups, but I never really hung out with anyone in the playground. I was always that weird band kid in the music room, practicing or teaching myself how to play other instruments. That was just me. And all through primary school and high school, I always wanted to be a music teacher. That was my number one, probably since grade 1 or 2. Everyone was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Mine was music teacher.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a sick little fucking
insight.
Yeah, not too many people I know have been like, I want to be a music teacher.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not a
fuck
musician.
that.
Music teach
Yeah.
people music.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's great.
Obviously I had those kind of dreams and desires of becoming a pop star and stuff like that, we all do when we're young. But yeah, I was so adamant on becoming a music teacher. When I was in high school, when we got to our senior years in high school, I was actually lucky enough to spend 1 day a week at my primary school with my primary school music teacher doing like work experience 1 day a week, which was sick,
So
and I loved it. Yeah. And then got accepted into Southern Cross University into their Bachelor of Music, and I was going to university to become a music teacher. I also had a couple of other opportunities to go to other unis, but I just felt like for me and the direction where I was going, Southern Cross was like the best choice for me.
And are you still playing clarinet at this point?
Little bits here and there, not as much as I like to. I mean, she has collected a bit of dust.
They do.
Like what at home at the moment I have a flute, a clarinet, dozens of recorders. I have a trombone.
Whip him out.
Yeah. They're all there.
I was going to ask you what instruments you play.
Yeah, so like during high school, I was kind of like, I had my set instruments, like clarinet being my main one, but then also like I then went into playing bass clarinet, and then moving into high school, my high school was huge. So we had like 6 different bands. We had 3 concert bands and 3 jazz bands.
Shit.
And then that's when I was like, okay, during primary school, I taught myself how to like do all of these instruments. Let's like put them to use. So I picked up the trombone. I also played the euphonium, saxophone.
I need to explanation. What is a euphonium?
Euphonium is essentially a baby tuba.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Big marching band instrument.
Yeah. That's far
Yes,
from
it's
where
got
I've
the
been
big
from.
bell,
Yeah.
bell, and she kind of swings around.
Yeah. I know you
play
are.
like
You
this.
sit with it on your lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saxophone, tenor saxophone, trumpet. I did a bit of percussion. Yeah.
So where did you go to school? What school has all these fucking instruments?
Yeah, where
hiding
is
in the
this
back?
school? Yeah.
This
I
is
know.
amazing.
Expensive.
So before I moved to the Gold Coast, I was living on the Central Coast. I went to Umina Public School, and that's where I learned clarinet. That's when I first picked up everything. And then when I moved to the Gold Coast, I went to Eleanor Primary School. Great school, great instrumental music program. Shout out to Kayla Latta.
Kayla, we got you, girl.
Shout out,
I love her. She was a teacher, and I was really lucky to have her through primary school and all through high school. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have kept doing music. And
isn't that amazing that there's
Yeah.
like one
Kinda
pivotal
safe to-
person in your life? You know what I mean? You can put
Yeah.
that back to
Safe
it's
to
just
say,
one.
like,
Yeah.
that's kind of like your first female music role model. Like,
Yeah.
she would
100%.
like,
She was doing
Yeah.
she was doing your dream role, like the
Yeah.
teaching music. And that's killer.
So it was Kayla Latta and also Christine Madden. So Mrs. Madden, she was our classroom music teacher. So you know how like once or twice a week your class would go do music for half an hour.
Yeah.
That's who Miss Madden was, and she also ran the choir, which I was also in. And yeah, those two were like massive role models for me in music. And honestly, from the move up to the Gold Coast, if they didn't give me the resources and also the courage and confidence to keep on with music, I probably wouldn't be
Just giving
doing
it up.
it. Yeah.
That's mad.
Sick.
That's real
Yeah.
mad. You can put it back to, I guess, a couple key figures
Yeah.
and the right environment,
100%.
At an
And
important
then-
time of your life as well. I feel like that's when you're making decisions.
which is a big sponge as well.
Yeah, you have those dreams and aspirations to do something, but it's like really important. Like at those
pushed in the
primary
right
school and the
way,
high school is like where
Yeah.
you're.
Because music, at my
Yeah, you're
school, like,
making
it was
moves
such
at
a
that point. Too.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah.
kind of the formative years of like when you figure out what you're going to do in the last few years of school.
And
when
it's-
you're, like,
Yeah.
picking your
and
electives.
it's so
your
dependent on
100%.
you having the right people around you pushing the right way. Because so many times you could be pushed into like no, you need to learn English or social
Well, yeah,
science. or
one
whatever.
teacher,
Yeah.
one teacher can
Yeah.
make the difference.
A mad
Like,
difference,
sometimes
man,
you have
yeah.
like just one mad teacher, and you're like, sick. I'm gonna.
But you always
Talked
remember
about
that
this
mad
the other
teacher,
day,
man. You always
remember?
remember that
Yeah.
one mad teacher, or you know what I mean, that did help you
100%.
in life or whatever. Yeah, that's so cool.
That's it. And then, transitioning from primary to high school, I was stoked that we had Kayla again, Mrs. Latta. And, in my high school, I went to Palm Beach Currumbin High, PBC, Reds, represent.
Shut out!
So at PBC, there was things called excellence programs. So obviously you had your kids that would come through like the mainstream, just like, going to high school.
Yeah.
And then
Just
you
there for
had
it.
your kids that were in sports excellence, academic excellence, and arts excellence. And I was fortunate enough throughout from grade 8 to 12, so my whole high school, I was in music excellence, and
Sick.
it was great. Yeah.
So what's involved in that? Do you get extra time dedicated to those subjects, or do you get special programs? Like, how does it work? So, like, if you're taking electives, you can take extra music electives, or like, how does it work?
Kind
in that
of.
sense?
So, like, music excellence is still, like, one of your electives throughout high school, but, like, you get to learn more about music theory, you get to do more, like, composition, you get to, you know, experience and understand a lot more of what goes on in the real world of music.
Yeah.
Like, at my high school, we had a recording studio, we also had,
That's
like,
dope.
a theatre and everything like that. We'd put on musicals, we would have heaps of, like, showcases, and
You see the work that
loved
goes
it.
into it,
100%.
not just learning the recorder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it.
That's killer.
Yeah.
That's real cool.
That's
Yeah.
so cool. What about besides Mrs. Ladder and Mrs. Madden? Did you have an idol that really influenced you growing up in the music world? Like, was there someone that was a key figure to your...
in like a more general sense, like
Yeah.
a mainstream
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah,
like
of
someone
course.
that you were just kind of like, oh, everyone else sees them in a way that you were like, oh, it'd be cool to.
100%.
Like Beyonce, like, you love, you know, who?
100% Kylie Minogue. Aussie icon. She was my girl. Like, growing up, my family kind of nicknamed me Kyra Denogue. Because I was that obsessed with her. At my nan's house, my nan had the Fever album. That's all I would ever put on at nan's house. Dancing and singing around the lounge room. If we ever had family or friends over at nan's house, I'd always put on little dances or sing
Your own
for
little talent
everyone.
contest at home?
Yeah,
Little bad
literally.
days.
Like,
Bad
I
days.
would practice a
watch
little
me,
bit of
yeah.
a dance, but then it would come to it, and it's like me just like absolutely like
Flailing.
just
Yeah.
doing whatever. And yeah, everyone was like Kyra Denogue. So yeah, that was
disco,
great.
the disco queen.
Yeah,
man.
good.
Fucking love Kylie.
I can
Yeah.
see the influence.
Wow.
I can see the influence. Now
Yeah.
you mention it, 100%.
Yeah.
That's right. Was
Yeah,
it
you kinda got your haircut like a. I don't know.
Was it being? I guess this is a bit of a divert, but being a young girl, say, wanting to be in the electronic world. I don't know if you maybe didn't know you wanted to be in the electronic world then, but was it hard to find a role model like that, or was Kylie just a no-brainer?
I mean,
Well, you weren't
Yeah.
really in the electronic world at that point.
no,
that was
I
more
wasn't
like
really.
more the band,
yeah.
really,
yeah.
I mean, it was like Kylie Minogue was always number one, and then it like shifted into Delta Goodrum for a little bit.
Nice.
Did you get into Dido? Was Dido ever in the picture? No.
No.
Oh, Dido was mad, dude.
Is that the chick
my
from
dad had
Stan,
the
man?
biggest. My dad had the biggest crush on Dido.
Dido?
Yeah.
I still sing White Flag in my head as I walk around. Sometimes.
I remember being a kid, like looking out the car window,
Yeah.
like rain going.
Oh yeah.
Pretending you're in the music
music
video.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Vibes.
I don't know. I guess for me, like, especially through those early years, like probably up until before I went to uni, my kind of music idols were Australian female artists.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of high school there, one of my biggest ones is Katie Noonan. Yeah, she's amazing. Amazing singer-songwriter from Australia.
She's still around and about and around?
100%. Yeah. Incredible voice. Incredible voice. I did a lot of her songs for like my assessments and stuff like that. And we also got to do heaps of workshops with her, and
Yeah, nice.
yeah, it was really nice.
She does
So I guess the
amazing
fucking
things,
like, the question is, like, how the fuck did you get into EDM? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
how did you,
How did you get to
how did
this
you-
rave queen?
Yeah.
that we sing now?
Yeah.
What's the crossroads? Where was it?
Yeah.
Where was it?
What happened? What
When
changed?
did you put on your first pair of
Where was your
Speedies?
first pick?
Well, you want to know, the funny thing is like, I turned 18 in the middle of grade 12, and you know, you're trying to fucking finish school and all that
You know,
shit.
yeah.
And it's like, I was working like 2 hospo jobs at the time. I just wanted to work. I never went out. I hated going out.
Oh,
And
so
it
you want to go
wasn't
out
a-
in school, kid?
No, it wasn't
Very cool.
until like probably halfway through uni that I was like, okay,
This alcohol thing's
I'm
sweet.
yeah.
I'm like, the music's tight. Let's
Those sound
do
systems
it.
are dope, man.
Yeah. And it wasn't until I really went to Byron that I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep going out more. But
These
yeah,
infectious.
I guess like I did work in nightclubs for a little bit, and I got to know a few of the DJs,
Yep.
and they were so lovely. They were so nice, and like sometimes I'll go in early and just watch them do their thing, and I'm like, I can do this.
Is it the same time as you studying at SCU? Like,
This
do you
is
think
just before?
just before? Yeah.
Yeah. So, Boxing Day sales of 2017, went down to JB Hi-Fi, got myself a little, what are they? The SBBJs.
Yeah.
Pioneer.
Oh, the little mini
The
controllers.
little
yeah,
controllers.
Yeah. The real spinnable jog wheels.
Got a little one of them. Got myself a Sony speaker with the extra bass boost. And
The light up one.
The light up one.
Yeah.
Still got it. And I fucking taught myself how to DJ.
Sick.
I was like, surely this isn't too
And
hard.
DJ fucking
First
well
gig?
as well.
First
Yeah.
gig?
Yeah.
What was your
Yeah,
first
what was
gig?
the first gig?
Yeah.
It's up here?
And
Yeah.
where?
Yeah, and where? And what
and
did you
when?
play?
And when?
Okay,
How
so-
long were you practicing for? What was your first gig? Who got you the gig? More importantly, I quite like that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's got their paws on you? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, Kyra.
Who knew what this was
Alright,
going to be?
so
yeah.
I was just practicing in my bedroom, you know, watching YouTube videos, whatever, if I needed to. And it wasn't until I actually moved on to college at university that I would, you know, play our parties. If we were having a party in an apartment before it got shut down, I would
Heaps of
play our
Kylie?
events.
Heaps of Kylie? Or?
Oh, a little bit of
Did-
Kylie.
did-
A little bit of Kylie.
Yeah, tweak your tastes.
Yeah.
When you started DJing, is that kind of what changed your taste in music?
Yeah, like I
Personally,
was
like-
definitely listening to a lot more EDM.
Trying to find where
Early
you fit.
EDM influences? Were you like a main stage?
Nicky Romero kind of vibe.
Nah.
David Guetta.
Oh, yeah, David Guetta was in the mix. But
From
look,
Jack.
I fucking frothed early Dom Dollar.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was
yeah,
my
yeah.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Like,
Like
that.
Take It?
Yeah, you know? And then, some Gecko Overdrive.
Yeah.
That was like my shit.
Is that Oliver Heldens?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking wild, man.
And then
yeah.
it wasn't until like I moved off college and got a job in town. I mean,
Where
this
at?
is skipping over a lot of shit, but like got a job at the beach hotel, and I remember it was
You're
like,
not going to tell me your first gig was Beach Hotel.
yeah, first proper gig, beach hotel,
Wow.
support for Mood Swing and
Mad.
Chevy Day.
Fucking
Mad.
sick.
I have a weird feeling that you told me about that.
Yeah.
You're like, I got my first gig, because we met before that. I can't remember how we met, but we met before that. I think I vaguely remember you telling me being like, I got my first gig. And it was like an afternoon-ish. Like, was it late afternoon, early evening? Like,
Yeah, that
opening
was
slot?
probably, yeah, it was, so like this Mood Swing Chevy bass gig came like pretty like, we need you up on stage. I'm like, shit, okay, because there was like a full like hour and a bit gap where like there was no music.
Oh, bullshit.
Yeah, so they're like, Kyra, you're up.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
shitting myself, but I had so much fun. But yeah, and
Fuck,
then
that's the best first gig I've probably heard.
yeah.
We were all just some 200, maybe 100 people fucking party or something. Like.
Yeah.
You
And
were
then
shorties.
it was like still kind of coming in and out of COVID, so like at the beach hotel as well, like they would just get us to sit out on the grass area with the CDJs and just play like some afternoon sunset
Around the
music.
back?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
around the back
remember
of the grass
that,
area. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where it would have been from, because I remember you being outside.
Yeah.
I remember that was where like I was like,
Yeah.
It was out on the, in the sunlight.
In the sun, yeah.
In the open air
Sunset
at the
set,
beach
yeah.
hotel.
Yeah.
Golden
What did you play?
Oh.
If you can remember.
Overdrive.
Okay, go.
Yeah, Dom Dollar.
No, I mean, when I played like that Mood Swing Chevy bass thing, like, look, I didn't have a lot on my USB, but I had enough to get me by. It was kind of like Destination Calabria.
Calabria.
Um,
Bam.
Put your hands up for Detroit.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, kind of like just shit like that, like crowd
Sick,
pleasers.
fun,
Yeah,
fun tune.
Getting
Get the
them
people
going.
going, yeah.
Like, also, like, I knew who Mood Swinging Chevy Bass was, but also, like, I didn't have any shit to play to support them. I was like, I'm gonna just play what I play.
Yeah,
I
you're
got
just
the
getting up
crowd
there.
so
It's the,
hyped, and then it was like, fuck. But yeah, no,
Too
it
hyped.
was
But
fun.
it is
Yeah.
that
Too
thing,
good of a
like,
DJ.
it is like when you're early in your career and stuff, you don't have the back catalogue or understand how crowds work and stuff like that.
Or
It's
reading the
like
room,
you
or
literally
yeah.
just have what you have and
Yeah.
you just like do your best.
Exactly.
That's sick though. I love that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's a fucking. That's
Yeah.
probably going to be
The best
up-
first
yeah,
set.
the best
without
first
a
set we're
doubt.
gonna have.
Yeah.
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 On support as well, not just Beach Hotel. On support of Mood Swing
Yeah.
Chevy Bass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking wild,
Huge.
bro. That's killer.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of gigs, favourite gig?
Yeah, most
'Cause
memorable.
you are quite a renowned gigger now.
Yeah.
Positive or negative as
Yeah.
well? Or can we have
Gigaholic.
one
Can we get
positive
one
and
of
one?
both?
best gig,
Yeah.
worst gig.
Where
Best
best
gig,
Worst gig, and the worst gig if you could involve like not a monumental fuck up, not like in the mixing stage, but like I've got the gigs and my just USBs don't work or just
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I was
Best gig,
like,
worst
I don't
gig.
know if I
Yeah.
want to expose anyone.
no. Oh no, expose away. Yeah.
We can cut it out. Cut it. No.
Of course.
Everyone watches anyway.
Yeah. We'll cut it out anyway. Yeah.
I guess. Let me give you my top 3 best.
Yeah, please.
So most recently, I got to open for Groove Armada at the Beach Hotel.
Sick.
Another Beach Hotel thing.
Yeah.
That was
Wild.
fucking amazing.
Unreal.
Mind you, can we just say Beach Hotel? If anybody doesn't know, the Beach Hotel was voted
Best
20
music venue of 2023.
yes.
Yeah.
And 22 as well.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
2022. Yeah,
That was when I was
2023.
still
Bad.
working there.
Yeah,
But
must have
anyway,
been
we'll
you.
get back into that.
Kyra
We'll
effect, the
skip
Kyra
that.
effect.
No, you add that in.
The Kyra effect.
The Kyra effect, fucking hell.
Yeah,
Claim that. Claim that.
yeah. What else? Last year I
Favourite 3.
Yeah. So Groove Armada.
Yep, number 1.
My next one is probably like my first festival like stuff, which was last year. I got to play for Red Bull and Smirnoff at Splendor.
Yeah, we've
Sick.
seen those
Fuck yeah.
videos.
Yeah.
Unreal.
They
They
were
look mad.
sick. And then my third.
Surely, I know. I feel.
I've got one.
I was going to say
I've
the
got
first
one,
Need
like-
the Freak. Surely that's.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
I was going to say fucking opening for Hermitude because that was fucking wild.
There's that as well, and then like Need to Freak is definitely like its own collective
it's a
in
planet
itself.
of its own, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Like
Really, those
definitely
gigs, yeah.
playing at the Need to Freak New Year's Eve festival just gone.
You in the dome
was insane.
thing? Were you in like a
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, there was the
10,
dome,
Videos for
yeah.
that
sick.
wild, bro.
Yeah. And then my first like Need to Freak gig at the Dome. Like those boys, love him.
Little plug, she's
They're my
playing
fam.
Beachy this Sunday. Need to Freak. Get
Yeah,
there.
get there.
Which we will touch back on.
Yeah.
later.
Well,
that-
Later,
Yes,
a little bit
we
later
will.
on about Need the Freak.
That means we got to get this video done now, eh?
Well, actually, she just played it on Sunday. she just played it. How was it?
So going
Nice.
like going into those sort of gigs and sets, like how do you plan your set list and your style of music that you're going to play? Is it are you now at a point now where you play to the crowd, or you're at a point now where you know that people are coming to see you and you can play the stuff that you think's going to bang and what you love?
Yeah, look, like before I started getting all of like the bigger stuff, I would literally just go into a gig with my USBs and I would kind of have the idea in my head of what I was going to play. I wouldn't actually really plan it
Yeah.
and just go in and play to the crowd, especially if I was a
As you
support
have to,
act.
Yeah.
And there
Because
was a long, or it seems to me like there was a long period of time where you had a few residencies on the run as well.
Exactly,
So
that's
that
it.
kind of gets your chops up in terms of like
Yeah.
playing the crowds and things like
100%.
that.
And then
yeah.
like with those residencies, it comes like, you know, you play a certain set and it's not always going to be the same, but you have those certain songs that you always play.
Yeah, well, there's certain
with-
mixes
yeah,
or certain
exactly.
vibes you try to get
Yeah.
to, yeah.
But now, like, starting to move into those bigger things and, like, you know, on support for people who have a certain sound, a unique sound that you don't hear every, like, week in a nightclub, I do sit down and I take time to plan my songs.
Yeah.
And it's, like, literally, like, as soon as I know I'm playing that gig, I'm just running, like, a bunch of stuff. I'm running through Apple Music, through Spotify, through SoundCloud, and I'm just liking all of this shit, putting into one big folder.
Legally or illegally?
Cut that.
No, like obviously, like it will be in their own like playlist on the formats.
Yeah.
And then like obviously going through like Beatport as well, and on Beatport putting them into playlists.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to a couple of days beforehand, I'll go through all of them and pick out the best ones, and I can kind of imagine what my set is going to sound and look like in my head. And because I have that musical, like, trained background as well, like, when it comes to, like, songs being in keys and stuff like that, like, especially when I'm playing as well, like, I'll be playing a song and I'll be singing the next song in my head.
Yeah.
Even if I don't know what's coming, because I'm like, okay, this works. Let's go back to our circle of fifths. Let's do it.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to, like, for someone that's a lot less experienced than you three, do you go through your set beforehand and do you have things in order and cue them and know, like, and have cue points, etc., or you just know what you're going to do, know what's going to happen, feel that you're confident enough to just be able to do it on the fly? If you know what I mean by that, you know, like
100%. Like, majority of the time I'm doing it on the fly.
Yeah.
If I know it's going to be something big, I'll kind of cue them into, like, its own set list in my record box and, like, look, I'll chop and change things around, but I know, because especially, like, when you're playing, I like to hit a climax and bring it back down, but not too much.
Okay,
So that there's enough room for that next DJ to grow.
Yeah, you can't leave them up here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, like, I'll kind of put them into a line where it's like, okay, these are my starting songs, this is where it's going to climb, this is where it's going to climax, and this is where I'm going to start bringing it back down to a level that's suitable.
You can't have that main event energy paying as a support.
No, not at all.
No.
Not at all.
You can't, hey. I was going to ask you that.
It's an art.
There's a mad difference between the support slot and the headliner slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would obviously go about well, we all do, but you would go about your set prep differently for a support slot as you would for a headline slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Can you give us a little run through for the people, like how you would say? Can you give us like 5 points on how you would plan it out? Like, are you already obviously well entrenched in the music industry? Do you know what you want to do? And then do you like pick certain music, or do you just go like, sweet, I know what I want, I'm going to chuck everything onto like everything through record box and then plan it out? Or like what's your process that you do to plan out a gig?
As I was saying, like, just constantly, like, as soon as I know the gig's coming, just circling through those streaming platforms, seeing what's cool, like, maybe, like, what's hot and new, like, what people are loving, but obviously in respects to, okay, is the headline DJ going to play that?
Yeah. Or is it too energetic
or is it
not to be that energetic enough?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, like, also curating my set to also fit my sound and what I kind of play as well, without taking it too far away from like that headline DJ. But if it's like my own headline, I'll play fucking whatever.
The fuck you want,
But really, for me, I'm all about on the fly. I like surprises.
Even surprising yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I love getting to a gig and knowing, like, I know probably the first 20 minutes of what I'm going to play, but then it starts getting into the nitty-gritty, and I chuck on this song, and it's going well, and I start queuing up a next song, and I'm like, okay, let's see how this goes, and it works, and I'm like, holy shit,
or it doesn't.
all right.
Or it doesn't.
Or it doesn't, and then you just spin it back and next song.
But that 20 minutes is where you can get to, and you can then, obviously, once you get 20 minutes into your set, like, it is just room reading from there.
100%, and in that 20 minutes as well, it's also gauging your crowd.
Yeah.
I always look out into my crowd. I'm like, okay, what's everyone doing?
What's vibing? What's working here? What's not working
Who have
here?
I got in the room? What's the demographic
You got a
here?
Hens party or you got a Bucks party?
100%. Like, they always come through. If there's like Hens, Bucks, a wedding, 18-year-olds. Fuck, what am I going to do here? Kind of thing.
Quick.
It's like, okay, maybe I've got a little bit of an older demographic in the room. Okay, sick. That's fine. I'll just put something on that suits them.
Yeah. But still in your flavour.
100%. And then, once, like, in that first 20 minutes, I think I got it locked down, then I can start building it up into what I want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that, catastrophe.
Yeah, we get a worst gig.
Yeah.
Worst gig at all.
We've all got a good catastrophe story.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head, eh?
You don't have. We can come back to this question at the end of the show if you want. But you're not leaving without an answer.
Stay tuned.
I was just going to say, anything you would have, now that you are where you are, is there anything you would go back and do differently, even though you are truly quite successful where you are? Is there anything you would go back and do
If you could start it all over?
or change, or a bit of advice to yourself growing up, or...
Honestly, not really, because, like, for me, DJing's a hobby. And I wasn't expecting it to go where it is. I'm just kind of rolling with the flow. I don't expect to be this great big DJ that's touring all the time, because I work with those DJs and I see it and I'm like, that's not for me. I'd rather do the work for them than me doing that.
That's there you go.
Yeah, and then I mean, I'm just so grateful for all the opportunities that I've been given. There's definitely a couple of things here and there that I would like to go back and change, but honestly, where I'm at now, I'm quite happy. And it's just been an amazing ride so far, and especially for it just being a hobby, starting in my bedroom to becoming what it's become. I'm just like, okay, this is how it's going.
I mean, you've worked yourself into a lot of really beneficial relationships, you know what I mean? Like, you put yourself in the right rooms with the right people, and that's through like different lines of work and things like that, and it's cool to see it paying dividends in different ways, like 100%. Being, you know, like, you've got your line of work in music, which we'll get into later, but like, it's cool to see people like capitalize on the opportunities that have been put in front of them, like, you know, working at the beach, you're doing all the like behind the scenes stuff and doing all the sound work, and like all of a sudden they're like, oh, you're here, we know you can do this, let's get you on the full mood swing and stuff, like, and just being able to like have enough confidence in yourself to grab those opportunities and like run with them, you know. As I know a lot of people who'd be like, no, like I'm just
ready.
a sound person,
I'm not ready. I can't do that.
I just do back of house stuff, whereas you just like grab it by the balls and run with it. So like, it's cool to see that for you, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why you don't have many regrets, is because you work yourself in situations where you're always adaptable and you're always capitalizing on good relationships, and like being a people person that you are really opens a lot of doors, and being willing to take them is like a reflection of the work you put into developing yourself as, you know, not only a DJ but as someone who works in production, someone who works back at house, and all those things. Is that people see that you're working and are happy to give those things to you, and it's sick to see someone that like we're close with grab those opportunities and like do it, you know, like, it's cool. I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah,
it's honestly so great, and like as well, like, it's all about trial and error as well. Like,
you're never going to know if you don't do it, eh?
Exactly, that's it. That's why, and like, you guys know me, I don't know how to say no. I'm always like, yep, let's do this, let's do that, let's make it work. And I guess that's why I'm so busy as well, because I don't know how to say no. But also, it's like, I keep taking on those things. Look, if it doesn't work, that's fine. Let's find another option, or let's come back to this and we'll try this again at a later date.
And that's like probably why you don't have any regrets, because I feel like the biggest regrets are always no's.
Yeah,
if you haven't said no, then you don't have any regrets. Yeah, that's mad, dude.
The only time I ever say no is if it physically and mentally won't work for me.
Yeah. And I guess you've got to a point now where you can probably foresee that.
Yeah. 100%. Like, I'll have a million other things happening around that one thing that I've been asked, and it comes down to like, I know I've got a lot on my plate, but physically and mentally, how is this going to be for me in the long run? And if it's like, if this is going to absolutely burn me out,
it's not worth it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Have you ever copped like any like backlash or any fuckwits, whether it's like work or during a set or like working in the industry? Like, have you experienced things that you just go, fuck, I hate that person, or I hate this experience that I've had?
100%. Like, I wouldn't say that it was more of a hate thing. Like, hate is such a strong word, but like it also does kind of, you know, fall into that as well. Like there has been stuff where I've been like, fuck, I really hated that. I don't ever want to go back there. I don't ever want to do that again. But then there's other times where like, okay, that was shit. Benefit of the doubt. Let's try again next time. If it's the same, see you never.
Or I guess you can then work out why it was shit.
Yeah.
100%.
And then that's the situation you don't say yes to.
Yeah.
Like I'm changing the topic a little, like changing the direction here a little bit.
No,
but like, because we've been in a jail, we've all had those experiences ourselves. But I'm quite interested, like as a woman, have you had anything that's been specifically directed at you for being a female, like in the industry? Have you ever come across anything that's been like
sexually
like kind of just prejudiced towards you being a girl, and how have you like
100%.
worked through that
and how do you deal with that? Because us as
Yeah.
three dudes, we probably can't relate to it. So like, if you are faced with that situation, how the fuck do you deal with that?
No, for sure. So like, bringing it back into my uni years, like obviously I said I wanted to be a music teacher. Through uni, I found the love for sound production, sound engineering. That was like, I was like, stuff music teaching, I can do that later. I want to be an engineer.
You're like a needle in a haystack in that, man. I don't think I've ever met any sound engineers, female sound engineers out.
They're rare.
They're
really
rare, man.
Yeah.
Should be celebrated a lot more. Yeah.
And look, like when I first started it, one of my main mentors and friends at uni, who was my vocal coach, she definitely gave me a lot of advice and words, because she had obviously had a lot of experience in the industry, and was like, just be careful, don't take anything to heart. If it doesn't feel right, if it feels uncomfortable, speak up straight away. I'm like, yeah, cool, no worries. When I first started engineering, I got taught by the old boys. The old boys that had been doing this for years. That had been on the road, that had done all
Was
of
that
like...
a good thing?
Yeah.
100%.
I am so glad, because like I got taught all the shit from them, and they were so lovely, so great, and I loved it. And they were the ones that told me, don't take shit from anyone.
Good.
And obviously, like being an engineer, a female engineer in the industry, with the men, they'd be flying around the F words and everything, all on like set on stage all day long. But no one takes it to heart, because it's such a high pressure environment that like we just don't have, what do you call it? We don't know how to control our tempers.
Yeah, of course.
Like patience as well.
Yeah. There's no intention. There's no harsh intention.
Just say on the fly, put it behind you. That's done now.
That's it.
Like, fuck that off.
Yeah.
You know, and get
You're a fucking idiot. Fuck off.
Like I remember one festival I did. It was the last Mullen Music Festival. I just finished packing down my stage, and we went to go help the boys with the main stage. And like obviously after a show, you quickly crack a beer, have a quick debrief, and then you get into it. But I wanted to go home. I was tired. It was like 4 big days, and I was like, I want to go home. So I got up on stage with my beer, started rolling leads, started stripping the stage and everything. And one of the old boys that I was working with, he was like, wait, guys, what the fuck are we doing? Kyra's up there doing the work of 10 of us. What are we doing? Kind of thing. So it was also nice, like, them recognizing as well, like, my hard work. I mean, during all of that, I didn't really get much backlash. Probably not until, like, I started working at the Beach Hotel. When I started working at the Beach Hotel, I was their junior sound engineer when I first started. And obviously there was a lot of bands that came through, and a lot of bands that have been playing there for years. A lot of them got a shock when they saw a female sound engineer.
He's the new girl, or he's a girl.
Yeah. I got
first female engineer at the beach, or one of?
I think I was the first.
Yeah. Well, I haven't ever dealt with any other female.
No.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to talk to girls, are you, outside of the house?
That's a false statement.
Accusations.
It wasn't until like I got into the real world of shit that, like, you know, they would rock up to gigs and I would introduce myself. Like, I'll be like, hi, like, even if I knew they had been playing there for ages, I'm like, hi, I'm Kyra, I'm going to be your engineer for today. Anything you need, let me know. What do you need for stage right now to help you get ready and stuff like that? I'll get things like, oh, is it just you doing it? I'm like, yeah. Oh, is there anyone else that's going to be helping you?
Man, that sucks, dude.
They're
no
like,
guy would have got that.
No. I've always gotten...
Yes and no, I don't know, because you're quite baby-faced, you know, you got a young head on your shoulders.
Do you reckon a young boy would get that?
I reckon.
Yeah, I guess.
If you get the old boys that roll in, like, I'm not saying it's like, it definitely could have been one of those where it's like, but you also don't look like someone who's been hanging around stages for 10 years and like doing all that stuff. So it's like, that's just one side could be like a
100%.
What do they call it? Like just a youth assumption of just being like, this fucking kid's got no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it could also be like, we don't want a girl doing our sound. But
there has been a lot of that as well, and like,
I guess you got the double-edged sword there. You are young and the girl.
Yeah.
So you're going to get looked at for being young and looked at for being a girl. Yeah.
So in like 10 years, when you've been smoking a pack a day for 8 years, and you just look like 65, and when you're 30, you're like, hey, girl!
But look, like a lot of those situations, I did get apologies, and then like, you know, it got to their sound checks, their line checks, and they're like, fuck, this is probably the best sound I've had in years.
It's actually working,
And like, when they've come off after a gig, they're like, that was great. That was probably the best it's ever been. Like, thank you. This has been a great experience. We apologise for our actions early. And I really appreciated that people picked up on their actions.
That builds your rep. They come back, they go, 100%. Hell yeah, we got Kyra doing the sounds. Like, how good's this? Like,
there was only ever 2 people that came through the beach hotel that came and played their first gig and their last gig in one night. I remember there was this one band, they rocked up, and I was like, hi, I'm Kyra, I'm your engineer for today. Let me know if you need anything. And that's when they started the questions. Oh, is it just you? Do you know how to set up this? Do you know how to do that?
Just derogatory.
Yeah, just stuff like that. And one of their guitarists was
Does it ever rattle you? Does it ever rattle you? Do you ever let it, like, does it ever get to you? I've known, like, sometimes I've had...
Sometimes it does. This one particular gig really did, because I ended up having a go at them. Like, I just kept going with it, and I was like, yep, I am your engineer today. If you need anything, let me know. I've been put here for a reason, and this is to produce the sound for your gig. And their guitarist was being such a smart ass. Like, he kept playing all the way through sound check, and I kept asking him to stop, and he kept replying with, yes, miss. After the third time he did it, I was like, call me miss one more time, I'm not letting you play on this stage. I'm like, cut the crap. I'm not tolerating this.
And that goes back to your teaching from the old boys that said, don't take any crap.
100%.
Say something you see. And that's good that you got that advice, so you knew how to be. Like,
look, it was getting to me because I told them my name.
That's allowed to get to you.
I told them my name multiple times. My name is Kyra. If you need anything, let me know. Don't be a fucking dickhead.
That's fine.
Otherwise, I'm going to tell you how it is. I'm not going to let you up on that stage. And they played their first gig. They never played again. Like, sorry guys.
That's
bye.
Did they play shit? Were they shit?
Oh, they played. Like, it wasn't the greatest. Like, it was probably their first, like, proper gig as well.
So they also might have not really understood what it's like to work with an engineer. Like,
no, 100%.
Hey, what a fucking first impression to make. If you're trying to make it,
you just listen to a person that knows what they're doing, right? Like, you don't just fuck around just because you don't know.
No.
You listen to the person.
And look, I did get a written apology via email, but it was one of the most basic. It was one of the most basic apologies. They kind of just brushed over it, and I was like,
that would have been more of them, like, trying to do the right thing than doing the right thing, if you know what I mean. Like,
How, from the beachy to where you're at now, how did you get introduced to the Lost Motel?
Well, it's been a beautiful day in the music world. Thanks for listening to the Zig-Zag Chin-Wag with your boys, Bad Boy Bill, Joey Tuck Shop, and Fob T. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and follow us on Instagram at the Zig-Zag Chin-Wag. Fuck on.
woo!